Right, karibu sana. This is Morning Cafe News to Stanley Nyarungita. Welcome to Law Thursday. This particular show dedicated just for you giving tips on legal matters. We always give you advocates, lawyers here to help you understand the whole legal issues around your world. And today we're discussing the Small Claims Court. They've been in existence. So first of all, just a brief history of it, really. The introduction of the Small Claims Act 2016 was later amended to the Small Claims Court Amendment Act 2020. And later on, through a Gazette Notice 3791 of 2021, led to the establishment of small claims courts. And the first one was the Nairobi one on the 26th of April in 2021. And then later that year, around December 11, more small claim courts were established by Chief Justice Martha Koome, and so far they've really helped. We'll be getting to understand how they've helped. Advocate Ruth Tanui is with us today. Karibu sana.
Thank you for having me.
And today we are going to be standing.
Yes, today we're going to be standing. So let's hope this is going to go well.
Oh yes, it has to, just to keep us very active. Whatever you're seeing on the screen, actually, what are we seeing on the screen here?
So here on the screen, we have the statement of claim. Mm-hmm. So this is now, if now, for instance, you want to sue on in small claims, this is now the form that you get. Okay. So the form is found at the judiciary website. You just go to the judiciary website and search for the statement of claim form. Right. Then this is now what you'll get from there.
This is what you're going to see.
Yes.
Right. Let's hold on to this. Now that they understand what they're looking at on the screens, will be it's a whole PDF, so we'll be helping you understand if you have this document, what do you fill in these blank spaces. We'll be getting to that. Yes. But then help us. I've given a brief history of how the small claims courts really came to be and were created. But what is their function really?
So the main functions of the small claims court is to deal with matters that are below, to help majorly they're focusing on small businesses, whereby you may find now you supplied goods or services of an amount of 100,000. Normally, someone would feel like it's a long process to go and file it in the magistrate court. So that's where now the small claims court came in, because you can seek as any amount as long as the maximum is 1 million. So even if it's 1,000, from 1 shilling to 1 million. So it came in to curb that. And another thing is the filing fees. At least the filing fees for small claims court is from 200 shillings to 1,000 shillings.
From 200 shillings to
1,000 shillings.
Okay.
So at least the fees now it's not expensive. It's not an expensive process.
So hypothetically, because you've told us the minimum, the wide range is, in legal terms, you say pecuniary.
Yeah, pecuniary.
Pecuniary really is just money or jurisdictions.
Yes.
Maswala ya pesa. So when it comes to the lowest amount, what's the lowest amount that neza ambia mtu nilipe pesa yangu ama nikupeleke koti?
That's what I kusema the lowest amount can be 1 shilling, any amount.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone, it's for access to justice. So it doesn't mean if you feel like, even if you want, but the least I've seen from practice is like 3,000. 3,000
do you lay?
The least I've seen for practice. Okay. Yes.
Because, so you tell us that so is the 1,000 to get this document, what's the 1,000 shillings for?
No, it's from 200 to 1,000.
200 to 1,000?
Yeah, so it's from 0 shillings to 200,000, you'll pay 200 shillings filing fees.
Okay.
No, I think that is now something that will determine the amount you'll go for. For instance, if you're going to, I owe you 100 shillings, you'll weigh the options. You're like, filing fees is 200. So 100 shillings, it won't make economic sense in a way. But the lowest is 200, the highest is 1,000 maximum. So if you're seeking from around 800 to now they are million, you pay now the maximum 1,000.
All right.
1,000 shillings, yes.
1,000 shillings for filing.
Yes, for filing, as filing fees. All the other services are zero rated. So if in case you're seeking for maybe a mentioned date, anything else, an order, it's zero rated. Warrants to attach, zero rated. So that's the only fee that you will cater for.
How different is this small claims court comparing to the magistrates courts and even other kind of courts?
Okay, the major difference, apart from even the issue of it's not expensive and the process, also the process, they don't follow the strict laws. Like for instance, evidence, when taking evidence, they don't. That's why someone can represent themselves in a small claims court, because court doesn't follow the strict rules of evidence. For instance, there are some evidence that will be admissible in the small claims court that can't be admissible in the magistrates court or the other courts. So as examples is screenshots, WhatsApp screenshots. You may find you just, I asked you to loan me 100,000. We don't have a contract, so we don't have, because other courts, of course, they'll want to see where's the contract that you had and all that. But now for small claims, as long as you have even the screenshot of WhatsApp where I was asking you to pay my money, that's enough evidence that court can use. They don't follow the strict laws of evidence. So I can say that's, and the other major difference is it takes, it's supposed to take 60 days.
Right.
So within 2 months, the matter is supposed to have been done. Though, of course, there's some exceptional circumstances that may go above. But normally, legally, within 2 months, the matter is supposed to be done. Compared to other courts, they have a maximum. So that's why for small claims, immediately you file, you're given a date within 14 days. Yes, the first mentioned date is given automatically. So that's even when you're serving your statement of claim, you already have a date before court, which doesn't happen in other courts. It's normally, you can even take, it's normally a hassle to get a date. You need to do a letter to the DR. It's a long process, but for small claims, you get an automated date automatically. The moment you file your case and you pay the filing fees, automatically you get a mention.
So hypothetically, tukimaliza kufile hii yote, kufill in easy form yote, and then we file it digitally, we'll get an automatic mention date.
Mention date, yes.
So what's the range? Let's say today is the 4th of July.
Yes.
When am I expected to have this mention date?
They may give it to you maybe 14 days to 15 days from now. So you may get maybe 20th July. You'll get the first mention date.
Okay.
Yes.
I also understand that there is that period of 60 days of mkuwe mmemalizana na hii maneno yote.
Yes, by 60 days unafaa kushapata now your judgment from court. Yes.
So does 60 days begin on the 20th of July, ama the day that I filed this form?
It normally starts running from the day that you file. Your file, because you know automatically when you file and you pay, you're even given a number and it's registered in the system. So that's why the time starts running.
So 60 days, about 2 months.
Yes.
So that means in 2 months time from now, that's, so this is July, August. So that's, I think, September?
Yeah, by mid-September.
By mid-September,
you should be having your judgment.
Okay.
Yes.
You would also mention about the kind of stringent happenings that are now lesser stringent for small claims court. How strict sana? Does also language come into play in this?
Yes, even language, it comes into play. They are more, they have said they are not strict. Even sometimes magistrates improvise based on the situation. Because someone might come maybe from Kayole or Madare and they can only speak in Sheng. Yeah, so kama magistrate anaelewa, because you know, of course, magistrate pia anafaa kwa, the adjudicator now is the magistrate. They can converse by that language. Yes.
Right.
Even indigenous languages, if for you come and you can't speak either English, Kiswahili, or they accommodate. Yes.
Right. So tuseme, for example, wakili nilikupatia 10,000 last year, ukafika mahali ukakataa kunilipa. So I decide now to nimekuambia, give me my money, 10,000. Ikafika mahali nikaona hapana, huyu anilipi. So I decide, because as you tell us, first of all, either go to, let's say, a court. How many small claims courts are there, by the way?
I think, I don't know the number, but I'm sure they're already now in 33 counties. Yes. So I think it's around that number. Because 33 counties now have small claims court.
So about 33 small claims courts. So whichever yenye iko karibu na mimi. So I go to that specific one. Yeah.
But under the act, see yenye iko karibu na wewe, you know, it might be, you see now this, it's 1 year later. So maybe it's normally where maybe you reside or you do business, where the defendant resides or did do business, or where the cause of action happened. So maybe it was supply of services and it happened in Kajiado. That's where you file it. Yes, so there are factors you also have to look at, because sometimes they were saying if you file it, if maybe we did the contract in Kajiado, everything was happening in Kajiado, and then you come and sue me in Nairobi, I'll file a PO. We call it a PO, because now that's territorial jurisdiction. Nairobi small claims do not have jurisdiction over that matter. It has to be done in Kajiado. So that's important.
So kama nilikupatia pesa because I was in Nairobi, I gave you that money and in another place, let's say Eldoret.
Yes.
I sent you that money in any digital transactions. So where do we handle this case?
So if I stay in Eldoret and you're suing me, so that you file it in Eldoret.
I come all the way to Eldoret.
You file now the matter in Eldoret, yes. Wow. But you can also file where you reside. Yeah, it's also allowed. But now the other party, can bring out the issue of distance. You see, but you normally focus, even in other magistrates' court, you normally sue where the defendant is. If it's a business, where they run their business. If it's a company, if it's an individual, where they reside and carry out their businesses.
And that takes us to the first one, because so if you say in the Small Claims Court Act, let's say if it's in Eldoret and you reside in Eldoret,
yes,
and I am in Nairobi, I sent you this money while I was in Nairobi. So,
but if we were both in Nairobi, when you gave me the money, you can file it in Nairobi.
No, you are in Eldoret, for example.
Oh, no. So you'll file it in Eldoret.
In Eldoret. So I'll have to write here Eldoret, for example.
Yeah, at Eldoret. Yes, Small Claims Court at Eldoret.
Because now there are two things here. So there's the filing itself, and then there's a actual, ukipatiwa mention date, ukienda kokot sasa, kusikiza hii kesi. If I had written Eldoret here, everything has to happen in that court in Eldoret.
Yes, but now the benefits right now, courts are virtual. So you don't have, none of you has to actually even travel. Yeah, so you just, that's why there'll be a link. When you are given the mention date, you'll have a link now to you'll know the magistrate you're appearing before. The links are available at the Kenya law. Right. So you can know you'll have the link of the case you're supposed to attend.
Right. Yeah. Fantastic. Remember, you can always be part of this conversation. 0795 045 864 is the number to call us live. We'll be definitely glad kusikia sauti yako. Na mbiko pale tu chini kwa screen, utuambie have you ever filed a case kwa any small claims court? Inile yenye venye wakili anasema, mtu akona 500 yako unaamua, wewe nakupeleka kotini wewe. Ndiyo hiyo pesa urudishe. From as low as even 500 bob, and even lower than that, all the way to $1 million cash shillings, hapo hivyo katikati. Have you ever filed a case? Do you have any questions regarding how to file a case? Talk to us. Wakili atakuwa na tupigia simu. Na mbio tuko na caller wa Kasarani. Yes, tunaongea na nani?
You're speaking with Kate from Kasarani.
Yes, can we have the audio in the studio?
I just have a flu. I'm saying I'm Kate from Kasarani.
Habari asubuhi Kate, yes, tuongelesha.
Yes, Anna. I wanted to ask, just the other day I bought something online.
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Continue.
It was worth 2,000 shillings.
Okay.
And I later suspected or later knew that these ones were our tutu wa kuibia watu conmen.
Okay.
But I already know, I'm in their WhatsApp group because they post these fashion attires on that group.
All right.
And then just wondering, does this fall under the small claim courts? If now I have their physical location, I have their phone numbers, what do I do for such a case? Because I know they have been doing such to people, other people.
Right, interesting question. Thank you, Kate. Kutoka Kasarani, salimia sana watu wa Kasarani. 0795 045 864 is the number to call us live. Wakili will be answering your questions. Before you continue, you can answer Kate's question.
Yes, so as Kate has stated, at least now she already knows the physical address, and she has stated that, so I'm assuming also she knows if she was buying something, so maybe it's a business that has been registered. So the first thing I would advise you first do a search on it to confirm if it's a sole proprietorship, if it's a company, because as you have seen, you have to tick, there's a place you have to tick to specify the business.
Right.
So, and after now you confirm it's actually a registered company or a business, now it falls within small claims. And the good thing is said she sent money via M-Pesa.
Right.
So at least she already has proof that she sent her money. Yes.
Okay, right.
Yes.
And Kate ashatupeleka mbele, so we had started with, let's say, Eldoret, for example. So claim number, what do I answer here?
Claim number, you don't answer it because it's court that will give you the number of your claim. Yes, so you don't add, you leave it blank. So maybe you can answer here because of course it has to be 2024 because we're in 2024.
For the year now.
For the year you can put 2024, but for the number it will be automated.
Right.
Yes.
So for this bit, what do you put?
So for here, if for instance you're suing me, it will be now, you'll put Stanley versus Ruth.
Right.
Yes.
So claimant is me.
You're the claimant.
Okay.
And the person you're suing becomes the respondent.
Mtu mwenye kuna pesa yangu ni respondent.
So if it's a company also, you put the name of the company. It's important to know, because if it's a sole proprietor, you now, like maybe for instance, I'm running a business called TV47 Shoe Company. So it will be Ruth Trading as.
Okay.
Yes.
Allow me to interject kidogo. Tuko na Nick kutoka Nairobi. Nick, habari asubuhi?
Hello, I'm fine.
Yes, thank you for calling us this morning. Uko na swali au maoni?
No, it's a question. There's a gentleman, we were working together.
Okay.
And then at work we had a social welfare group where you could borrow money to a tune of 500,000, but you need guarantors.
All right.
So me and my 3 colleagues of mine guaranteed that gentleman, but immediately he got the money.
All right.
He decided to desist from work. I heard he wrote something like early retirement. We didn't know. Then, it's done at Human Resource Department. And then he got the letter, and then we just saw that he has left the job.
Okay.
So he has defaulted now. The welfare is claiming us we pay the money because we guaranteed it. So is there any way we can file the case so that we can sue him? And do we need a lawyer for that?
Right. So actually, Wakili can answer you live on air before Katesibu, just for clarity.
Yes.
So what I would advise, because you said you are guarantors, so that means there were terms that you were, but by the time you agreed to be guarantors, there are terms that were given to you that you agreed. So that's why it's important. That's why even you have asked a good question, whether you need a lawyer. It's good you get a lawyer. The lawyer will help you look at those terms. Based on those terms, because there are some welfares, now for you have said it's a welfare, they normally state that matters are supposed to be handled by arbitration, so that at least the lawyer will advise you on where you will even start by even suing, whether it's supposed to go for arbitration or it's supposed to go to court. So you don't have a situation where you file a case in court and then the other person, the party you have sued files a PO, we call it a preliminary objection, stating that the matter was not supposed to come to court, then you'll be told to pay costs. So it's important to just ensure, get a lawyer who will help you look at the terms that you are bound by. Then from there, now the lawyer will advise you on the next course of action based on now the circumstances.
Okay.
Right. Nick, I hope your question has been answered clearly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Salimia sana watu pale huko. So even as you continue, I've realized that even as you continue, there are certain cases that might directly go to small claims court. Kuna zingine zenye maybe utaambiwa no, he does not fit.
Yes.
For clarity, because a number of callers that are going to have might have similar questions, you can tell us ni gani ukienda small claims court tuambiwa tutadil nayo. So
there are matters that small claims can't deal with it. Okay. For instance, land matters. Okay. If you have a land issue, it can't be dealt by it. Because even for land matters, it has a designated court, Environment and Land Court. Yeah. So for land matters, you can't go to small claims. Employment, come your employer has fired you from work, and you feel like
and it's below 1 million.
Yes, and it's below 1 million, the amount you are seeking, you can't go to, it doesn't fall under small claims.
Right.
Also, defamation, malicious prosecution, it doesn't fall within small claims. And also, general criminal matters, they are not handled by small claims.
Right.
Yes, so they only deal with contracts for supply of goods and services, money held, debt now where you have loaned someone some money, the personal injury claims. Those are some of the matters now that you can take to small claims.
Right.
Yes.
Na kama mtu aliniumiza, any personal injuries, for example?
Yes, even personal injury. So as long as you're seeking below 1 million, the amount you're seeking. Right. But now for personal injury, it's normally sometimes risky. So you have to make sure the amount is actually less than 1 million. Because sometimes there's normally, that's why you seek for any other cause that court may deem fit. So sometimes based on that, there's some that court has to ascertain itself. So it might go above. So you just make sure, by the time, even if you owe me, let me give an example, if we are dealing with 950,000, that's so risky to take to a small claim. Unless you're willing, that's even normally tell our clients, just know here, either way, it will just be, you'll get to 1 million maximum.
Why is the 950,000?
It's risky because there's the issue of interest, because you normally seek for interest and you seek for costs.
Okay, and
or filing the suit. Yeah, it will surpass. It's obvious it will surpass. It's not even like it's even the cost itself, costs that involved, it will surpass.
Wait, how much interest do you now accrue
Now, it will depend now on a case-to-case basis, because now it will depend on the circumstances of the case. Because you know there's even, for instance, if you had loaned me money, I'm supposed to pay interest monthly, and I didn't. Yeah, so it will depend. So that's why it's very important to consider that. Unless, but there's some people, because they see the benefit of the matter ending within 2 months, they forgo the other. Because now going to the magistrate court, for the moment you're seeking something close to, you may pay fees for like 70,000. The filing fees.
Na ingine ungelipa to 1,000?
Yes, 1,000. You would have paid only 1,000.
Right.
So here you will just weigh options.
Right.
Yeah.
So there you have it, the kind of matters that cannot be taken to a small claims court and those that can be taken to a small claims court. Now that you have that information, so go kutupigia simu, iko pale chini kwa screen yako, save it right now, and even ask for someone, or ask for a friend, ask for family member, 0795 045 864. Naambia tuko na Dan kutoka ni wapi? Allsops. Yes, Dan, habari asubuhi.
Really?
Yes, asante sana kwa kutupigia. Kuna swali au maoni?
For me, nauliza tu swali.
Yes.
How can someone file for divorce?
Okay.
Vitu zenye mse anafaa afuate and all that.
Right.
Yeah, and then, yeah, like, hizo process tu zote.
Yeah, divorce.
Anaweza fafanua. Tell her she's smart. She's looking good.
So amekusikia. Also Dan, leo tunaongelea maneno ya small claims court, but then utakuwa unapata jibu. The fact that Leo is here, utakuwa unapata jibu ya maneno ya filing for divorce. You can briefly, unaweza mpatia some tips, ndio sasa tuendelee na our conversation of the day.
Yeah. So for divorce, first of all, you don't take family matters. You can't take it to small claims. So for divorce, we talked. You remember last time?
Yes.
I think when I was here, we talked about divorce matters. Filing for divorce, you file it in the chief magistrate court. Yes. So in the magistrate's court, there's a petition you have to fill. Unlike small claims, there's no standard form that is presented to you. So maybe you can. If you can't afford a lawyer, the best is maybe you can visit a court near you. So for him, he said he stays in Allsops. He can go to Milimani law courts and just go and ask for guidance.
Right.
Yes.
So speaking of guidance, now let's continue with what we're doing here. So what we're doing, in case you're just joining us right now, we are giving you tips on if you have this document, if you're filing a case,
yes.
If you want to sue mtu, akona deni yako, this is what you start. So you had told us the small claims court at that particular place, this specific small claims court and area. Hapo kwa claim number unacha of, you put the year, and then here you put your name if you're the one who wants to sue, and hapo unaweka jina. So if for example it's a number of people, for example Nick's case, for example, he had mentioned that there are like 3 gentlemen, 3 colleagues, and they want to see one person. So do they put all the names here, or there's one person who represents the 3 of them?
No, they'll put all their names. So they'll put, if now it's XY, let's say XYZ. So X will be first claimant.
Okay.
Y second claimant. Yeah, they'll put all their names.
Right.
Yes.
So that also still applies for the respondent?
Yeah, for the respondent, even though you're suing more than one. Sometimes it's not, maybe you're suing 2 people. So you'll put them as first respondent, then the other party second respondent.
Right.
Yeah.
So tuingia hapa kwa claimant's personal details, hapa lazima kuna. So this is where ninajaza zangu.
Yeah, so this one at least I think it will be, you're the one filing, so unaweka tu information yako hapa. Yeah, you put your information here. Yes, unaweka yako. Alafu sa if you are claiming, if you are representing, now you see now the act, you can be, it has 3 representation. You can represent yourself, or you can get a legal representative, or any other person, because you know sometimes someone might be elderly, disabled. So, and like that's another benefit of the small claims court, and like what happens in other courts. So for instance, if you have an elderly grandmother who wants to sue, you can come to court and sue on their behalf.
Right.
Yes. So if you are so now that's when you will, if you are claiming, now if it's you suing individually, you will take claiming in person. If for me now, if it's like for instance, if it was me representing as a lawyer, I'll take claiming as a representative. Yeah.
And then Hapa kwa nature of business, for example, I as a journalist, do I have, and I had lended you, let's say 50,000. It was an official, haikuwa ati to sign agreements mahali nini. Do I put my job
it's what you're doing. Yes, you can put your job there. For instance, for you now, your nature of business, now you can say media.
Okay.
You work in media, so you can put media.
Okay.
Or a journalist. Yeah, so it's just what do you do? Basically, it's like this question is asking you, what do you do?
Na kama una kazi.
You can say, maybe you can put there, maybe anything. If you are maybe you can put unemployed.
Unemployed, okay.
Yes.
So we've tackled that, claiming for someone else. Now, reasons why you claim for as a representative.
Yeah,
so what
you have to get an authority letter. So that's even for us when you're representing as a lawyer, there's an authority letter you have. We draft it whereby you give me authority to represent you. Basically, in that letter, you're saying that this person, I give this person money that he failed to pay, and I want you to represent me in court. Basically, it's just in summary, that's it.
So now this is where unajaza. Hapa unajazia mtu, if it is me,
yes,
as Stanley, nilikulend the 50,000. So when I'm filling in this, I have to put in your details here.
Yeah, you put in now my details here. Because now here, the thing with here now is, of course, especially in most cases, you're suing me for, you lended me money. Yeah. So of course, chances are you know my name, of course, you know my contact, you have this information.
But kama location sub-village is, I may not even know where your sub-village is.
No, you can. That's why they've put location sub-village. So you just put here, maybe if it's there, it said Eldoret. You just put Eldoret.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So legal status of now the respondent. So this is now for you.
Yes.
For this person who you're suing.
Yeah, the person you're suing. So for instance, if you're suing me, it will be individual. And then now you'll take on, you're suing an individual. And then for sole proprietorship, you take this. If it's a company, so that's why it's important to do that. E-Citizen search. You go to E-Citizen and search the person. If it's a company, that's even I was advising the lady who bought something. You have to search for these purposes, so that you know if it's registered as a company, is it a sole proprietorship, is it a partnership. So this is important. And if you're suing, or if it's a state department.
Hapo sasa ndio hata nataka tukwamie kidogo for the state department. This means that I can actually sue your state department. Yenye ikona pesa yangu and it's less than $1 million. Yeah,
if it's a contract, it needs also to fall within those ambits we have stated. It has to be a contract, money held, yes. So by the time if it has moved, it's no longer, it has to fall within those ambits. Yeah, you'll put your state department, if it's a state department.
Right.
Yes.
So how does... And
for this one now, you know, for instance, if it's, let's say, Bungoma County, you can't, Bungoma County are working under the government, so that's why you sue through, you put State Department, but now while serving, you'll have to serve the Attorney General. Because the AG acts as when you're suing any State Department, yes, you serve through the AG. The AG is like the lawyer of the state.
For matters, because I think for all these individuals, sole partnership in companies and cooperative might really be, let's say, for the private sector, mostly. Yeah. But for State Department, now this is you and the government. Does the threshold still remain 60 days? Yeah,
it's still 60 days unless, that's why sometimes by it goes beyond 60 days, but it has to be like within reasonable, it has to be something reasonable. That's why it has taken that long. Yeah.
Right. So as you continue, I hope so far fuatilia and writing notes. Remember, also you can always call us live. 0795 045 864 is our number to call in. Wakili will be answering your questions. If you feel like as we are going through this form, kuna mahali haukuelewa, in matters small claims courts, usiogope kutupigia simu for clarification. So we're here, the nature of claim. Tell us about this.
So here now it will depend with why you're suing. So for instance, the example we gave, it's a contract relating to money. Yeah. Yeah, so that's why you'll fill here, and we're talking about 100,000. So you'll fill here, you'll tick this. Okay. And write, it's a contract, and then you put Kenya shillings, now the amount, 100,000. Yes. And if it's not a service rendered, now for instance, if it's a state, you rendered services and they have not paid you, so you'll tick here services rendered. It was services rendered. And the value, it's important to state the value because remember that determines a lot. So if it's goods, you sold some goods sold and delivered on or about you have to put the date, goods sold and delivered but wasn't paid for, you'll put that. and then compensation for loss or damage of property. So this is depending on now what you're suing for. That's where you feel this. Yeah.
Right. We do have John on the line. John, habari asubuhi?
Njema na zenu.
Hapa sisi tuko salama. I hope watu wa Makueni mko poa kabisa.
Nina swali kwa wakili.
Yes.
Kuna hii loan ya HELB. Yenye ilikuwa awarded.
Okay.
Wakati nilikuwa mwanafunzi lakini sikuitumia. Ilikuwa awarded wakati nilikuwa nimetoka.
Right.
But then sikuitumia.
Okay.
Alafu nimejaribu kufuatilia, sielewi mahali ilienda, but deductions zimeanza. Zina reflect kwa payslip, inakuwa deducted na pesa sikutumia. How do I make follow up with this?
Right.
Is it a case yenye na follow hapo ama iko wapi?
Unaweza niruhusu nikuulize how much roughly hiyo HELB bounty ilikuwa ngapi ndio tuone kama ni below 1 million? Sorry?
40,000.
40,000, okay.
Yeah.
Wakili?
Yes. So because you have said ni HELB when you were given but you didn't use it, you didn't utilize it. So kwanza
ilikuwa awarded.
It was awarded but
wakati nilikuwa nimeshatoka.
So when you say it was awarded, ilituma kwa account yako?
Okay, by then walituma kwa shule.
Okay.
Yeah, lakini details zina reflect huku zangu.
Also, because sasa hiyo the best thing you can start hata before uende ufikirie kwenda kusu, you can visit the HELB offices. Visit HELB offices. Uende you inform them about that. Ufuatilie from that end. Because unajua
all those means.
Sorry?
Tumejaribu hizo mbinu zote.
Okay.
Lakini it's a back and forth. Tunatuma kwa shule, unafika kwa shule unaambiwa rudi kwa HELB, unaambiwa hakuna pesa, lakini ati hakuna pesa ilikuwa awarded but deductions zinaendelea.
So deductions so far wamesha deduct ka ngapi?
So far it's close to 10,000.
Sasa hiyo inaweza ku advise
wana deduct kila mwezi.
So what I would advise kwanza, yeah, you can file, that one can fall within the small, the amount that you are seeking iko below within this. But sasa the first thing inafaa kufailiwa ni an application. Kwanza uweke, normally call it an application for an injunction. Kwanza hiyo deduction ikuwe stopped as the case is being heard by court.
How is that application done?
Yeah, so that's maybe you, kama unaweza afford wakili anaweza kuguide, ni kitu says it's a form, like I can't explain saizi hapa, but kama in Makueni, kama kuna wakili, you can visit a lawyer's office na atakuguide. It's an application done under certificate of agency, you seek an injunction kwanza hiyo pesa istopishwe from being deducted. So
okay.
And then you'll put the parties sasa to be both the school na HELB. Na I think now you'll find out the organization that deals with HELB. You work as those both parties. Make sure make up your shule because now there's the connection between the two. Unaweka both of them as the respondents. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So asante sana John kwa kutupigia simu. I hope utasaidika sana ukiwa hapo Makueni. 0795045864 is the number to call in live. We have about I think 15 or so minutes. So tumia hii wakati very wisely to just understand this. Tulikuwa kwa nature of claim, you've explained to us the compensations. There was this that I was asking as well, the compensation for personal injury.
Yes.
How does the court define personal injury?
Personal injury, according to the court now, is the injury whereby maybe you are hit by a motor vehicle, like a motorcycle on the road. Yeah, those are now we the ones referred to personal rundown matters. Yeah, they're the ones that are referred to as personal injury claims. Yes.
Right. So upper, how much? Because limit ni $1 million. So how much ndio unafaa kuitisha?
So it will depend, because sa unajua kama you are hit, it means you went to the hospital,
okay.
You got a P3 form, okay. So you just, because you know, as much as you know, you don't determine a figure on air.
Oh.
It has to be back to evidence. Yeah, it has to be back to the evidence. So you'll say maybe I went to Mbagathi hospital, I spent this X amount to be treated. So that's where you base all your, or I went to the police, wrote an abstract, it costs this 50 shillings, something like that, yes.
Right. What is the remedy relief sought?
So what are you seeking from court? This is basically the question of what are you seeking from court. So of course, most of the time it will be now, for instance, a judgment of Kenya. For you are seeking like the scenario we gave.
Yeah, the 50,000.
Yes, so you'll take judgment of Kenya shillings, 100,000.
All right.
Yes.
Naambiwa tuko na a caller from Nanyuki. Hello, good morning. Welcome to TV47.
Morning.
Yes, tunaongea na nani?
Unaongea na Charles.
Asante sana kwa kutupigia Charles. Do you have a question or maoni?
Niko na swali.
Yes.
Nataka kuuliza. Kuna mtu anakataa na pesa ya nyumba rent. Na imefikia around 62,000 at the moment.
Okay.
So nilikuwa nataka kugaidiwa na wakili. Yeah.
Okay, unaweza zungumza naye kujibu tu.
So is it a business premises ama ni residential?
Business.
Or for business, sasa yezi fall within small claims because there are specific courts for business. The rent and business tribunal in, I think iko View Park Towers.
Akona nyumba moja ni ya kuishi na moja ni ya biashara.
So I think the safest thing unaweza fanya sana upeleke rent and business tribunal iko View Park Towers. So you can visit that. They normally help you. Unaenda tu kwa reception yao and then you tell them, they'll guide you on how now you can file a case before that tribunal.
Are there charges?
Yes, there'll be of course charge, maybe filing charges. But for them when they help you now, and like now when you go to a lawyer, hakutakuwa na fees utalipa for the work. You just pay now this fees ya filing the case.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Right. Asante sana Charles, salimia sana watu wa Nanyuki. So as we continue, you were explaining the remedy relief sort. So here you're saying here I put whatever I want. You pesa yangu irudi.
Basically here the question is, what are you seeking from court?
Okay.
So for instance, for you, the scenario tulipeana, so I owe you 100,000. So it will be judgment in the sum of Kenya shillings 1,000. So but even most of the time you can decide to, because we normally take all of this.
Okay.
Because you would also want court to give you another appropriate relief.
Oh, relief.
You want also cost of the claim. You want to be compensated. So sometimes, most of the time, you can take all this.
There's something I want you to explain to us, to be assessed by the court. Let's say the cost of the claim.
Yes.
How long does a court take to assess all this and actually determine, I wanted you to give me back my 50,000, but then the court might rule otherwise?
Yeah, so this part comes in after the judgment.
Okay.
So if now, for instance, for this scenario, if you have won a judgment of 100,000 shillings, so the cost will be determined based on that cost of the claim. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So now we have this. So by filing this claim, I, as Stanley Nyeringita, hereby waive and forfeit the recovery of all sums in excess of 1 million, excluding costs and interests.
Yes.
Should I be signing this?
Yeah, you will, because that's why the court only can give 1 million. That's the amount they can give you.
Okay.
So if even by the end of the day, if court finds you are eligible to 1.2 million, it only has jurisdiction of 1 million. So and you can't say that, people might think that you can now say, let me go and now sue for the rest in magistrate court. No, you can't sue someone twice in one case. So by the time you have filed here, you have waived, literally by this state, you have waived your right to sue again. Because if you have sued me, let's say if I loaned you, I owe you 1.2 million, but you take me to the small claims court, and then at the end of the day, court says you have a case, you are supposed to be awarded the 1.2 million. Court can only give you 1 million. So by doing that, by taking it to the small claims, you have waived the 200,000. You can't say I'm going to the magistrate's court or the high court now to sue for the balance.
And speak of the high court, two scenarios here. One, can I, as someone who is suing you, appeal to either the magistrate or high court? And the second scenario, can the small claims court look at this matter and say, we'll have to refer this to the high court?
No.
But then before that, as you ponder on that, I'm being told you have Wangare. Kutoka wapi Wangare? Habari asubuhi Wangare.
Nzuri sana.
Yes, asante sana kwa kutupigia simu. Kuna swali?
Niko na swali kwa wakili.
Yes.
Nataka kuuliza, kuna mtu, wazazi wangu walituma pesa kwake like 1.5.
Okay.
He's a prominent person. Telling them that atampatia kazi kwa watoto wake.
Okay.
But from February, nothing has happened.
Right.
And now, sasa wameanza kumwambia arudishe pesa, but it's like anacheza hivi since hakuna kazi. And now that it's a prominent person, tukamwambia kuliko tu hata tukienda mbele ataenda apeane to bribe there for our case to die. Where are we supposed to start this case?
All right. Okay.
So on what terms mko mmempatia pesa for what reason? Like unajua pia if it's a bribe, alitisha pesa ndio awapatie kazi
Yes.
Because you know,
hizi za kwenda nje, hizi za kwenda tu nje.
Okay, so na mlimpatia through, pesa ilitumwa through ama ilikuwa cash?
M-Pesa.
Na umesema ni 1.5 million?
Yes.
So unaona hiyo mnaweza mwa, but sasa unaona sasa for that haita fall within the small claims court because the amount itself, because small claims starts to be 1 million and below. So kama hiyo mnataka kwenda mbele, you need to take it to the magistrate court. So mnaweza enda, maybe you get mnaweza amua maybe mtafute wakili or you go to court, mtasaidiwa huko. But sasa unaona hapa it will be more difficult. Just small claims, they don't follow the strict laws of evidence. But sasa ikifika some magistrate court, they follow it. So you have to have very strong evidence. Sasa unaona for you, I think the evidence you have ni hiyo tu mulituma pesa, si ndio?
Yes.
And do you have any conversation yenye sasa mko mmwambia mna follow up and respond?
Yes.
So mnaweza, so hiyo mnaweza peleka sasa to the magistrate court, that matter.
So
it can sorry?
Hakuna haja tuanze kutafuta DStv kwanza, or there is no need, we can just go direct to magistrate court.
No, but remember you have to send him a demand letter.
Okay.
So kama mnaweza afford wakili, naweza advise mtumie wakili. Just sasa compare to small claims, when you forgo strict evidence rule, magistrate court, the moment you miss one step, like hata mfail kumtumia demand letter, it will affect your case.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you can afford an advocate, you can get an advocate or represent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Thank you for that question, Wangare. I hope umepata jibu. Salimia sana watu wa Umoja. So as we continue, so ulikume tuambia hii maneno. The two questions that I was asking about matters referring this bit. So the first scenario being, can I appeal? Ni feel koti haikurule venye nilikuwa nataka. Where do I appeal? The second one, can the small claims court transfer this matter to a court that is above its jurisdiction?
So on this, let's start with the second one. No, court can't, by the time you have filed a case before court's mandate is not to argue your case. So court cannot state that, no, hii utoa kotini peleka. The only thing court can do is maybe now find ways alternative dispute resolution, that they can suggest you do mediation according, but court cannot argue your case for you. That's why even you sign this waiver. Yeah, by the time court will just deal with the facts before it. And then for the second one, if now, for instance, our scenario for 100,000, you know I owe you, then court feels you don't have enough evidence for the 100,000, then for you feel, no, this is not right. First, there's an option of review. Before even you think of appeal, you can review. You can request the same court to review the matter. Okay. And the other option now is appealing. Yeah, you can appeal, but you can only appeal on basis of law. You can't appeal on facts. It has to be law. Okay. There has to be a law that you feel the court didn't follow. So you can't state, you can't put in like facts saying that I'm so, hata alinipigia simu akaniambia they owe me this money. She called me and she told me. It has to be based on the law, strictly. And the High Court is the final stage of, you can't go, and like when you go to the magistrate court, you can go higher. But for this, because the first step is on law, you're only appealing on law, so that's the last stage. So
what happens if I also don't whatever the High Court is telling me? So
unfortunately now that's the end of it. And luckily, there was, as we were talking earlier, I was telling you that for Kenya, we're even lucky for small claims, we have a right to appeal. Most jurisdictions like Uganda and South Africa that I know of, they don't have a right to appeal for small claims because, you know, they've already termed it as small claims. They feel it's not that of a serious nature. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So we do have here the final. Oh, so I think hata tumemaliza the form. Yes. I'm pretty sure the others down there, but then walk us through what we're seeing here, because so there's also the respondent. I'm the one who had this as a claimant. I'm the one who was filling in this form. So I wrote my name here, Stanley Nyirungita, dated this on the 4th of July, 2024, acknowledgement, and I signed it. I acknowledge, blah, blah, blah. So the name of the respondent is whoever has my money. Do I take this physical form to them physically? Because our hypothetical was you're in Eldoret all the way. Do I nibebe hii bahasha yote nikuletea lore to sign ama how does that work?
No, you have the option, you have my number, of course, because you send me money via M-Pesa. So you can serve me via WhatsApp.
Okay.
Or if you have my email, you can serve me via email. So it will depend. And so long as for WhatsApp, as long as you have evidence, that's my number. You just serve me via WhatsApp, and the moment it blue ticks, that's proof of evidence. Sometimes by the way, you can, sometimes, you know, if someone knows you owe them money, they might have maybe blocked you. Or maybe you can't access them. You can decide to put it in your status.
Yeah.
And them viewing it, that's already evidence that they have seen.
For real?
Yes, you can put it in your status.
Okay.
The point here is they have seen it. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so when you receive this now as a respondent, what are you supposed to do with this? Because there are certain bits that you're the one who should be signing and all that. So what should you do as a respondent before you give me your final thoughts?
So as a respondent, you respond to it. You do a response. And I think there's even a draft for the response.
Oh, okay. Hapa chini. Oh, okay.
Response to statement of claim. So even if you are a respondent now, you can still go to the judiciary, look for that form. That form, by the way you even look for the statement of claim form, there's also the response to statement of claim.
Okay.
So it also guides the respondent on how you can respond. Now you see the same thing.
Oh, the same.
It's more of the same, but now it's more of now putting in your response. Response to the statement of claim.
So wewe ukipata hii na wewe unajaza hii bit.
Yeah, you respond to this. Yes.
What if?
Well, for you fill now this second one.
Okay.
Yes, the response to statement of claim.
What if, because money, the kind of things that we're talking about here matters, contracts, someone owes you money, personal injuries, they're quite emotive.
Yes.
Maybe even for the respondent, ataona kuna emotions nyingi really boiling here. Anaona wewe ana ignore. What do? Does this case now hold ama bado koti itaendelea nayo?
No, if the party doesn't enter appearance or respond, court will just confirm that you actually served them. So that's why you'll find court confirming whether you served them. Because the first mention now will be, have you served the other party if they didn't show up?
Okay.
You'll tell them maybe I served them via WhatsApp and email. Court might, if they feel they are not satisfied with that service, they may tell you go and serve them physically.
Right.
And then now the case can proceed.
So tuko na Mike kutoka Webuye. Mike, habari asubuhi, watu wa Webuye mnaendeleaje?
Webuye tunaendelea salama, we thank God actually.
Thank you. Uko na swali, wakili Tanoi here is listening to you. You can direct your question to her, umuulize.
Actually, yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Number one, I want to thank Wakili for coming up and actually helping some of us, because actually in some extent, it's quite a difficult task to get an advocate, especially when you have some little cases like this one. And it makes a lot of people to give up even on their money when they want to claim it, and in a manner that they can get it easily.
Okay.
So I thank God for Akili, and if possible, maybe if she can give us her number, because some of the things we can even discuss with her even one-on-one. I believe I'm not talking just for myself, yeah, maybe talking even to some other people as well.
Yes.
So this was my question.
Okay.
I have a guy who was working in Nairobi. He was printing this T-shirt. And at the time, I remember I sent him some money, and he made them for me, very nice ones. Then another year, I sent him, I think it's now about 2 years back, I sent him some money, about 12,000 shillings.
Okay.
Which we agreed that he was supposed to make T-shirts for me as well. And this guy went missing, and he never did the job. Right. Even though we used to communicate with him, he used to promise me, I'm going to do that for you next week, yes. And now it's about 2 years now down the line.
Okay.
He has never responded, and now whenever I call him, he's so arrogant, in fact. And after following up on him, I was told that he relocated all the way to Kisii now, back to Kisii. And I remember even calling him, he told me the same, that he'll get to Kisii, he's going to do the work for me, but he's never done it. And right now, he never takes my call.
Okay.
And now my question was that, in case I filed that case, and I don't know where this man is. Though I have the contacts, I have the messages which we used to talk together with him. I have the end of the statement. I have everything on my phone.
Okay.
So I don't know how I can claim on this kind of a matter so that I may get them back.
Right.
And so that I don't forget, kindly, I just want to remind Wakili if we can get his contact, because some of the things we can just talk with him, with her, one-on-one, so that she can assist us in one or another, please.
Right. Thank you, Mike, for that question. And actually, even before you're calling, that is what we were getting into, maneno claimant.
Thank you.
Yes, we can have Wakili answer you briefly, then we'll take a short break, then we'll be right back to continue with more clarification of that. Yes. So briefly, then we take a short break, then we'll be right back to continue.
So on the issue, you can actually, what happens is, because your question is where are you going to sue because you don't know where he is right now. So the good thing is you have his number, you have the communication. So where you sue is his last known address. You said that he was doing the shirts in Nairobi. So you can sue, you can file in Nairobi because that was the last place that during that time when you're doing the transaction, that's where he was located. So you can sue that, you can file in Nairobi and serve him via WhatsApp. That's already enough service, so long as you can prove that number belongs to him.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Mike, I hope umepata jibu vizuri?
Nimepata jibu, so tutaka namba ya wakili kindly. All
right. Thank you for calling us this morning. We're taking a short break. Don't go too far. Remember the number to call us live. Weka credit sai, by the way. 0795045864 is the number to call us live. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll just be wrapping up this conversation so that you understand. Don't go too far. Minutes past the top of the hour. Thank you for sticking around. This is Morning Cafe. It's a Law Thursday, and we're discussing small claims court. They've been around since, let's say, 2021 there. So 2021, 22, 23, 24. But you might have interacted with this small claims court, filed a case there, or maybe not. The small claims court, in case you have a contract with someone, personal injuries, mtu alikuumiza kidogo, and you feel like they need to pay up. But then it has to be below 1 million Kenyan shillings. So that really is a bracket that a number of Kenyans really out here wako wanajipata hapo ndani. Before this break, in case you're just joining us right now, before the break we had quite a number of callers who had different kind of scenarios. So yes, you are also invited to call us live 0795045864. Naambia tayari tuko na caller kutoka Naivasha. Jina ni nani kutoka Naivasha?
Silas niongeza Juma.
Sorry?
Silas.
Yes, asante sana kwa kutupigia. Uko na swali au maoni? Wakili is listening in to you. You can direct your question to her.
Niko na swali.
Yes.
Kuna pia mimi niko na hiyo small cases hiyo. Na ilifanywa tulikuwa case na ikamaliziwa.
Okay.
Ikafanywa judgment. Na saa hii miaka karibu 3 na sijalipwa pato. Sasa nauliza wakili, hiyo inafanyiwa?
So ulipata judgment, what was the judgment? Uliawadiwa damages?
Ilikuwa accident.
Okay.
Tulipata accident.
So how
2022.
Much? Okay.
2022.
Yeah.
Mwezi wa pili, na judgment ikafanywa mwezi wa 6 2022.
Okay.
Na pako hiyo wakili mwenye alikuwa ameshika hiyo kesi anaambianga tu ngoja tujalipwa. Sasa ndio nauliza hiyo, kama yeye ananipeleka hivi, kama judgment ishafanyika, inataki how long ndio mtu alipwe?
Kama umesema it has been how many years? 3.
From 2022 mwezi wa pili.
So almost, so ni kama tuseme almost 2 years. So kama ulipewa judgment, you're supposed to unafaa kuwa ulishalipwa. Because normally kama judgment imepeanwa na ujalipwa, you can execute what we call, una bring in auctioneers, you get warrants of attachment. So mimi naweza kuadvise maybe kama ni wakili, I don't know, kama wakili anasema bado hujalipwa, you can actually you can actually go back to court, useme you are claimant na ulipewa judgment on this day but you have never been paid your money. Yes.
Unaweza kurudi kwa judge sasa.
Wewe unaweza rudi kotini. Ama unaweza, another option is kuadvise, umesema you're from Naivasha, you can get another lawyer akufollow you up. That other lawyer can follow it up for you. Juu sasa huyo wakili mwingine ataandikia huyo wakili sasa kufind out why mbona hujapata hiyo payment. Uko na hizo options mbili. Unaweza enda kotini, utasaidika huko because there is evidence before court ulipata judgment.
Sawa.
Yes.
All right. Asante sana Silas, hope umepata jibu. 0795045864 is the number to call us live. We'll definitely be glad to hear your voice and just tell us what is your predicament. So on the screen here, in case you're just joining us, we're taking and skimming through a form that you'll definitely need in case you're the one who is suing, ndio deni yako ilipwe. Ama unataka huyo pia mtu mwenye akona deni yako pia arudishe hiyo pesa yako, or such like instances. And we've been skimming through from the top. Right now tumefika a particular place, naona counterclaim or set off. What are this, wakili?
So tukitumia when we're using the initial scenario of I owe you 100,000, you might now serve me with a claim, and for me when responding in my response, I do a counter. Maybe a counter claim means you also owe me money. So maybe also me I given you 50,000. So I'll do a counter claim stating that also you owe me 50,000. So now that this is now, and legally you have to respond to a counter claim. If in case you served me the claim and I did a response to your claim and did another counter claim, now where it's like I'm suing you for now the 50,000. And if you don't respond to it, it means it's acceptance by waiver. Right. So that means now this is where this comes in.
Kupoza hapo tu kidogo tusikie Daniel kutoka Mlolongo anasemaje, then we'll continue. Daniel, watu wa Mlolongo mnaendeleaje?
Salama kabisa.
Asante sana kwa kutupigia. Uko na swali, wakili is here, atakuwa na jibu kama uko na swali au maoni.
Niko na swali.
Yes, anakusikia.
Kuna mtu nilipatiana pesa kama kumkopesha.
Kama ngapi? How much hivi?
50,000.
50,000, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Now, it's almost 4 years now.
Okay.
Tunazungushana, nikimpigia ananiambia kidogo mambo imeharibika na ngojea contract fulani. So nilikuwa nataka kujua mtu kama huyu ambayo nilimpatia pesa na nilituma kwa M-Pesa.
Okay.
The messages ziko.
Okay.
Now, of course, we didn't have any written contract per se.
Right.
But na alafu shida ni kwamba, okay, I don't know exactly his location. So what I want to know is such a person, if I fill that small claims form or claim code.
Okay.
So how do I get hold of him?
Okay.
So umesema uko na namba yake, you have been in communication?
Yes.
That's as long as kama your number iko na WhatsApp, you can serve him via WhatsApp. Alafu kwa issue ya location, his last loan location is enough and unajua location yake ya mwisho. So penye unajua alikuwa the last time you were in communication, hapo ndio you can file the suit there, unaweka that's where location yake.
And then is there a duration that is there a limit duration, like kama ni 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or it doesn't matter?
Kuna kwanga na limitation of, so it's for contracts it's normally 6 years.
6?
Yes.
Okay.
For contracts it's 6 years. So you still within the timeline.
Okay.
So you said it has been
4 years.
4 years, yeah. You're still within because it's 6 years. And as I said, small claims, they don't follow strict laws, as opposed to kama ungepeleka magistrate ama high court. Yes.
Alafu mtu kama huyo now, if let's say I get an order for him to pay.
Yes.
How do you trace him na kama huwezi mpata?
So kama sutamserve, kama hata respond, you'll get that. Now that's one of the problem inakujanga, but you can request to get that's why after you get judgment, you have a option of seeking for warrants of arrest.
Okay.
So you can, and then you request his warrants. So of course warrants of arrest is done by the police. So the police now can come in helping in tracing him.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Kindly share a number after this so that we can also engage more.
Right. Okay. So she'll definitely be providing her number. I can see here some very good conversation going on TV47. Huyu lawyer tunaweza pata namba yake wapi? Kuna mtu ametoroka na 800k. I'm really struggling. She'll be providing her contacts. Tukienda kumalizia. There's something that Daniel has picked just out of my mouth that I also wanted to ask. The limit of time. Because as he says, hakukuwa na ati contract tuliandika mahali. Yes. Tukasema, I'm writing this down to give you this 50,000. Yes. Nilikupatia because of our relationship. Maybe we've known each other for a good time of time and I trust you. So, because as you say, the contract is 6 years. So how about if it was an official contract?
Yeah, it will not depend. If it's not, I think as long as, even if it's an official, that's still a contract. So now the parties are the ones now to determine. If the party claiming maybe it's already past the limitation of time, they're the ones to provide evidence to show this is where the contract began and this is where the contract ended. Though legal, that's what I was saying, in small claims, they don't go strictly as per that. Right. Yes, the time limitation. As opposed now to if you had taken this matter to the magistrate's court.
Okay.
Yes.
Sawa. Naambia tuko na simu ya Kakamega. Habari ya asubuhi kutoka TV47. Jina tunaongea na nani?
Okay, unaongea na Jotham.
Jina ni? Jotham, okay. Habari ya asubuhi?
Nzuri sana.
Yes, uko na swali, wakili yako hapa na kusikiliza. Unaweza direct kama ni swali uko nayo?
Niko na swali.
Yes.
Yeah, mwanzo nashukuru sana kwa hiki kipindi chenu ambacho ni kizuri.
Thank you.
Yeah, because nimefanya kufungua TV47 sasa hivi na nikaona kinaendelea and niko na issue kama tu zile wakili anajaribu kuongelea hapo. Ndio manake nikasema acha angalau nipige simu nikaweze kupata information nzuri.
Yes.
Okay, mimi niko na claim ambayo ilifailiwa kule Kachato. Na ilikuwa ya gari ya nini ya company, drilling water company, ilifanya kwa gari langu. Then nikafanya kuchukua wakili ambaye anasimamia ile kesi. So issue yangu iko sasa on side ya wakili, sababu mimi mwenyewe basi sijafika kule kotini, wakili ndio ananiwakilisha pale. Na zile form zangu za mwisho kunitumia ndio alifile hiyo kesi, I think the last year 2023 February pale. So amekuwa tu akiniambia mentions fulani, hiyo siku ikifika ukiuliza yule wakili what is the outcome, wakili anakuwa ni kama mkali, hataki kueleza vizuri. Anakupa like 1 month ndio communicate. So okay, lastly amekuja kuniambia judgment ilikuwa 35 last month which of June. Na hadi wa leo ajai nipo outcome hiyo ya ile court decision kuhusu hiyo judgment.
Okay.
Ukimpigia simu anakuambia tu ngoja Jotham, mnafuatilia ile kesi nitakueleza judgment court decision ilikuwa. Hadi wa leo sijajua judgment ilikuwa aje. So nilikuwa najaribu kuuliza wakili, ni muda gani ambao huwa inawekwa hapa, tuseme kama judgment imetoka, client yule mtu amefile hii case ataijua kwa muda gani? Tu hiyo judgment hizi case, hii small claim case huwa ina take muda gani maybe court ndio kwa determined. Hiyo timeline ya kufile hiyo case inachukua muda gani, because sasa mimi kama ile kesi yangu ilifanyika 21st September pale, lakini sasa unaona kufile, wakili alikuja akaifile alikuja akaifile mwezi wa February 2023. So hapo ndio kuna issue kidogo, nilikuwa nataka tu angalau wakili ajaribu kufafanua nikaweza kuelewa, sababu huyu wakili wangu nikimpigia, naona sasa ile wakati nitoka Kachato niko Kakamega, lakini nikimpigia simu anakuwa like mkali, hataki kueleza vizuri ukaelewa hii issue inaenda aje. Unasikia tu judgment imekuwa siku fulani, judgment ilikuwa siku fulani, hataki uende kule.
Sawa. Asante sana Jotham kwa hiyo swali. Wakili atakuwa nakupatia jibu tu sahihi. And even as you answer that, I'd like to throw even, advocates under the bus here, because this is not the first case we've had. Even the previous one, alikuwa nasema lawyers usually nipeleka hapa na hapa. What is it that happens here?
So first, I think another thing I've noticed when it comes to small claims, a lot of masqueraders take advantage. Because as you see, small claims, you don't have to actually be, you see when you can represent yourself. Like you don't have to be a lawyer to represent yourself. So a lot of people normally masquerade as lawyers. So I think to protect yourself first, make sure by the time you're giving a lawyer your case, an advocate, search them. Just go to the LSK website, search engine, and you put in the name of the lawyer. Or even you have a right to ask for their practicing certificate. So first ensure this person is actually a lawyer. Yes, because I think most people, by the time someone is doing all that, the most probably chances are they might not even be a lawyer, or maybe they're struck off or something. Because most lawyers who have practicing certificates and are currently practicing, they won't risk it.
So most probably that's a quack.
Yeah, because that means if I'm handling your case, it's on record in court I'm handling your case. And then you as my client, you go to court and say that I didn't give you judgment, I didn't give you compensation. That one, I can even have my license struck out.
There's something that Jotham also mentions, the timelines. Tell us about that before we skim through this to Malizia.
So timelines, it's, as we have said, it's supposed to be within 60 days, though it can be more. But now from his scenario, the way he's talking, he was just told judgment happened, because if we are, but in small, because you know what, the first thing that happens is, of course, the mention dates, and then the other part, if they have responded, there'll be a hearing. And the hearing, even though you have a lawyer, the lawyer cannot, I'll bring you as my witness. So me, I would advise him, because for the first time, there's a question also he asked, like, as a claimant, at what point do you know there's a judgment? Remember, by the time you get a lawyer, you have given the lawyer authority. That's why there's that letter of authority. You're giving this lawyer authority to represent you. So the court is just mandated to communicate to your lawyer. So that's why for him to get clear communication, the best thing for him to do is, because if it was February last year, that's too much. It's already over 1 year. So, and if he has said judgment was delivered and he doesn't even know what the judgment was, I would advise him to visit he said it's in Kajiado. Let him go to court. He's the claimant. Even if he doesn't have the case number, he can just go and tell them their name. It will be searched in the system and they will give him details.
And speaking of Kajiado, we have Isaac kutoka Kajiado. Isaac, habari asubuhi?
Nzuri sana.
Asante sana kwa kutupigia hapa TV47. Uko na swali, wakili anakusikiza, unaweza muuliza directly.
First of all, nashukuru wakili.
Yes.
Nauliza.
Yes.
Mimi niko na deni. Na deni yangu sikatai kulipa. So nauliza wakili, I'm willing to pay the person I owe them money.
Okay.
How long should I be given?
How long should you be given?
Yes, to pay them.
Kotini?
No.
So you can negotiate with the person when you owe. So mnakaa chini pamoja mnaelewana. So wewe unajua mfuko yako, you know how much you can afford to pay. So mnaingia mnaandikiana agreement, unamwambia mimi kila mwezi maybe until the end of the year, by December nitakuwa nimekulipa, alafu unamwambia nitakulipa hivi. So mna agree.
Asante sana. Asante sana wakili. This is a very nice conversation. God bless you.
Thank you very much. God bless you too. Salimia sana to Kajiado. So many callers just really trying to also understand this. So he mentions that alienda bado hajaenda court, but then so if he actually, now the person who owes him was to go the court route, what are the timelines to pay back?
So it will depend, because now if the person has already gone to court, remember this matter is before court, so you can like even for instance, now for him, he's served with the papers, the date, of course, he'll be given the date that court has been given. Like the example we gave, if someone is to file today, maybe around 20th July, they'll appear before court and they'll tell court, for me, I'm willing to pay the money. So court normally encourages ADR, alternative dispute resolution. So they'll communicate, they'll talk.
Okay.
So I always advise, by the time the consent is before court, remember this, you're already admitting to I owe this person. And now you can get any repercussion. So I always advise people, like for him, let him make sure the amount that is being consented is an amount you can actually pay. Because by the time now you default, the person can even execute, get in auctioneers, even a warrant of arrest can be given.
Right.
Yes.
So does the court stipulate time? Because as much as you say there's dispute, alternative dispute resolutions, but does the court say by this time, wewe ukumelipa huyu?
No court can't, they give you the opportunity to talk among yourselves. Yes, unless now maybe there's something at dispute. Maybe I'm saying I want to pay 1 year. The other person is like 1 year nimbali. So court can see a way they can compromise. Maybe come mpatane katikati. Yeah, but court cannot impose on you, on the parties. Yes.
Right. So before we finish off this form, there's something you'd mentioned about e-filing system. You can walk us through that. And then if for example, I want to sue someone and just filling in this form, for example, do I need to get into that e-filing system? Yeah, the e-filing platform, you register to be, because that's nowadays, everything after COVID 2020, everything is done digitally. So after filling this form, it's not like you'll take it to court and be like, I'm coming to file this case. But when you go to court, again, after filling this form, you just go to court, they'll guide you on how to, they'll open for you an e-filing platform. Okay. So after opening it for you, they'll register it for you. After that is enough. After everything, now you can start filing from there. So you upload the statement of claim, and then immediately you make payments. Because when you upload, the moment you upload, they will ask you, are you sure this is everything you have submitted? You are okay with the details? Then you click yes, submit. Then they'll bring out the fee. For instance, it's 100,000. Of course, the fee chances are to be 200 shillings. Yeah. Then it's very easy. By the way, sometimes it's prompted. You can choose M-Pesa, KCB. There are many forms. So if it's M-Pesa, you'll put in your number. Just put in your number. It will be prompted on your phone. Then you can just put in your PIN and you pay. Then immediately you get a case number and you get a mention date. Right. Then now that's what now you download, and that's what now you'll serve the other party. So now for the other party, for the respondent now, yes, do they also need to have an e-filing platform where if they have received that, they also upload that form, or wanakurudishia back to your WhatsApp? No, immediately they are served, but now for the respondent, you don't go and start afresh. Immediately you have already been you have been given the platform. Yeah. You're already logged in. You will now request to be mapped in this case. Okay. You don't remember you're not filing. What do you request? Is it? No, there's a part you say request for mapping. Okay. Then now you'll put in your details. You'll say that you're the respondent in this case. So then you'll be mapped in. So you'll have to, for the respondent, for example, what's just to me hypothetically, yes, mimi nilikupatia 50,000 and in Eldoret. Yes. So nimekutumia hii kitu via WhatsApp. Yes. So as you've downloaded it, so you're going to fill in all that you were seeing. Yeah, the response. For example, kama hapa kwa response to counterclaim and all this. Yes. So you have filled in all this. Yeah. So do you revert it back to me on my WhatsApp, or you can also hapo kwa mapping for the e-filing? How do you go about that? So for you have already been requested to, for mapping, it's just for you to upload your response. So the moment you're mapped in, it's for filing purposes. So you'll just upload it, you've filed it, but you've not served. So you've just filed. Then now, after now filing, now is when now you serve. So the best thing, of course, if you have served me via WhatsApp, I'll serve you back using the same. Okay, which platform. Is now also for the WhatsApp route is easier. Yeah, it's easier. Too. Yeah, I mean, for me as a respondent, I don't have burden to prove that I served. The burden is on the claimant. Okay. Yes. Oh yeah. So we were here and just taking a look at the final ones, response to counterclaim. You can walk us through what we are looking at here, and then we start to wrap it up. Yeah. So now this is the response to the counterclaim. Now after someone has counterclaimed, you can put in your response here. So
for instance, here, if in response the claimant does not owe the so here you put in what you, according to you. You see, for instance, this one is the claimant paid to the respondent whole of the amount aimed in the counterclaim amounting to. So, for instance, if it was 100,000, so you'd say from that 100,000, I paid this person 50,000,
okay,
and I have evidence, maybe an M-Pesa payment. So you have to attach the M-Pesa transaction. Yes.
Okay. That is when I also wanted to come in before you give us your final thoughts, where you attach your evidence. So this is where you attach your evidence. Ama after ushajaza hii form, you also attach for the e-filing system. Ama ukienda court, unabeba umeprint screenshots nini hizo zote? No, remember, court is virtual. Yeah. So there's no point you even access even the money. So everything, that platform, you upload everything. So this form, after filling it, you can easily, you know, it's because for us, we know the standard forms. For me now, what you'll do you can do a list of documents. Just do a list of documents and attach them behind. Yes. Right. So thank you very much for giving us all these tips. Because we've talked for a while, we've gone through all these documents, and someone back at home, they still maybe have more questions. What is that one takeaway that they need this morning?
Yes, so I think from the small claims court, based on the small claims court, the takeaway here is it doesn't it was introduced to make it less tedious, less. Yeah, so I would advise someone that if someone owes you money, don't be saying 800,000, don't take advantage of this. It was created for you, and that's why when you see the Chief Justice is working hard to ensure all counties have these courts. So you can just take advantage of it and just go to court. The thing I can caution you on, make sure if you're getting a lawyer, ensure this lawyer is actually a lawyer, so that at least you don't have a situation where it's so sad, you already have a judgment, you already have justice, but now you still, so just make sure, if you're getting a lawyer, make sure that lawyer search them in LSK, just put in their name, ask for their practicing certificate. And then if you can't afford a lawyer, it's still okay. That's why this event court was created, and there's this format. Just visit. The best I would advise you, just visit the court. There's even a clerk designated in small claims court to guide litigants who you want to file. So you just go and explain to them, this person owes me this and I want to file. I don't know where this person, the common question is, I don't know where this person stays. The last location is enough. And this is information you can be given when you go there. And then now you just follow the format. Yes.
Right. Someone that gives it to the court's place to actually verify that you lawyer ni fake ama ni real. But anyway, tell us your contacts, because that is now where many viewers right now are waiting for. Your contact, where can one reach you for all these questions that you still have? Yes, so if you have more questions, you can, our office contact is, you can call us through 0714 457 082, or you can email us on info@ruthtanuiadvocates.co.ke, and our offices are located at Kingston Residence, Ngong Road. Yes, Ruth Tanui and Company Advocates. All right. Yes. Thank you very much, Wakili, Advocate Ruth Tanui, for giving us all these wise tips. Thank you very much for the very, very, very many callers from different parts of the country. I'm pretty sure, najua Director Kevon ananiambia bado kuna wengine wenye wanaendelea kupiga simu, but then umepata number. So yes, now call her and make sure that umepata hii maneno yote. We do this every single Thursday, by the way, from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Kukupatia tips on legal tips. Ujue what you can do to either avoid ama ukue tu safi vizuri in this particular country. In case una feel bado kuna kasira fulani na build up, kuna mtu bado anakuowe pesa, let me give you an option. After this break, tunaingia into aerobics, ndio pia relax kidogo, si ndio?